Hey there, friends. I want to welcome you to a special update on the listener's commentary. As many of you know, as of a week ago, we completed the entire New Testament on the listener's commentary. Huge accomplishment, just to be honest, and it's been a boatload of work from my end of things. I started dreaming about creating something like this in 2018, started actively planning for the commentary in 2019. The first recordings went live in April of 2020. And so this has been a long-standing project that's gone on for over 5 years, almost 6+ years of active planning on this thing. And so there's a huge amount of satisfaction in reaching this point of finishing up the New Testament. But it also raises the question, what's next? And I've been asked that question on numerous occasions as we've approached the end of the commentary, and even received a couple emails or messages since I finished it about what's next. And so I thought I would just give a little update to give you an idea of my plan for the next little bit, so you have a sense of what we're working on here on the commentary, because even though we've wrapped up the New Testament, there's still quite a bit of work that we want to do. And so here's the first thing. Over the next couple months, I won't be releasing like regular episodes weekly on the commentary like I have been since we've been actively creating the commentary. What I want to do for the next couple months is I want to spend a good amount of time fleshing out, filling out the listener's commentary study hub. When I launched the study hub a couple years ago, I foolishly believed that somehow I could both create the commentary and populate the study hub at the same time. That was wrong. I way overestimated, I think, my ability to do that, and underestimated the amount of time the commentary was taking me. So it just wasn't possible. And so I haven't been able to keep up with the study hub and adding bonus resources and some of that. So I want to spend the next I don't really know how long, at least getting a good amount of material in there. So links to Bible Project videos to introduce the books, links to other articles perhaps that might be helpful, maybe some recommended resources for digging into a particular book. So if you want to dive into a New Testament book and really spend some time digging in and getting your mind around it and understanding it, I want to provide some real resources and links all in one place to make it easier for you to do that. That's my idea behind the study hub. Like, really make it a hub where there's things online that are scattered all over the place that could be helpful. Put them in one place in a hub to say, man, if you want to study Ephesians, Colossians, Romans, Matthew, whatever it is, here's some things that I would recommend that would be helpful to you. Some of them will be stuff that you can just listen to right online. Some of them might be books that I might recommend. Some of them will be articles that will be linked. I also would like to put in there maybe some short little articles that I myself write that are sort of like theological reflections, or maybe some implications for following Jesus out of a particular passage. So if there's a passage where I think, man, this is really pertinent for us to meditate on and pray through and reflect on, to help us think through following Jesus, might put in some spiritual practices, might put in some reflections, some implications, some things for us to consider that would help us do that. Maybe add some maps and some pictures. So I've been able to put some of that stuff in there over the last few years. I really want to populate that as well. And so if you haven't checked out the hub, you can do that at listenerscommentary.com. It's basically pay what you can afford. So pick a dollar amount or whatever, gives you access to the hub. Right now, there are 4 of my video courses in there. I would also, Lord willing, like to create workbooks to go along with those video courses so that there's some worksheets and to guide you through those courses to help really focus your study through those courses. But there's 4 of those core courses in there. A couple mini courses are in there. And then there is some other material scattered throughout the hub connected to the various books, background stuff about the Gospels and whatnot. I just want to spend a couple months really getting that at least a little more fleshed out, filled in, dialed in. Don't know exactly how long that will take me, but I want to spend some time doing that. Another thing I want to get done over the next little while is I really want to get the transcripts for the commentary on the website. So I've had transcripts made for most of the books. Don't have them for the Gospel of John, Letters of John, and Revelation yet. The problem is what we used to create those transcripts just created them as a mush of words. So there's no line breaks and all of that. And so we need to kind of rethink that and figure out, can we automate the formatting of that? Get the transcript generator we used to put in line breaks so that it's easier to track what's going on in the transcript. Once we get those formatted right, then there's the tedious job of just one after another uploading almost 600 of them onto the website. Very tedious job. I'm hoping I got some people that I think can help me do that, so maybe we can get that done sooner rather than later. But I want to get those transcripts up on the website just as a way to help you maybe follow along while you listen, or if you want to go back and say, oh, I know he said something like, well, you have the transcript that might maybe make it easier for you to find some of those specific statements or specific ideas. So I want to get that on the website as well. I have mentioned over the last handful of months that I want to create a Spanish version of this thing as a way to test out, could we put this in other languages using some of the modern tools that are available to us. It's a little easier now than it used to be. And so again, I have Spanish transcripts already created. They've got the same problem as the English ones, so we've got to get the formatting figured out. But once we get the Spanish transcripts formatted properly, I want to see if I can find an audio generator that is accurate and sounds fairly natural, and we could dump those transcripts into an audio generator and generate audio files in Spanish, and then I could duplicate the website so that there is Spanish audio and Spanish transcripts. So the Study Hub will still be exactly as it is in English, but at least we could have a duplicate website with Spanish audio and Spanish transcripts. If we get all that sorted out, I just think that would be super helpful as a way for other people who maybe their English isn't great, Spanish is their native language, and man, they could use the commentary as well to help their own Bible study. Spanish-speaking pastors could use the commentary to help their own sermon writing and their own Bible studies. So, and then if it works in Spanish, we might replicate that in other languages as well. In fact, I've already talked to my app developer, and he says once we have the Spanish audio sorted out, he can easily make the app dynamic so that if a person's phone is in English, the app will show up in English, but if it's in Spanish, it'll show up in Spanish and it'll pull in the Spanish audio. So super excited about that project as well, and want to get that, see if we can't get maybe that done by the end of the year. I don't know how much all that will cost. I've been doing a little research on the audio generators, and they're not super cheap. A lot of them want to do it by minute. A lot of them want to do it by recording. I'm hoping I can find one where they'll let me just go dump in a big chunk so we can get that done super quickly. So huge project there as well. So I want to be able to give some attention to that over the next handful of months as well. And then what about after we get the kind of the website up and going, Spanish stuff up and going, what comes after that? And the question I've actually been asked numerous times is, will you do some Old Testament? Will you at least do something with the Old Testament? People have asked that, requested that. I wanted that. When I started this, I was planning on just doing the New Testament. But it seems like there's a hunger and a need for something similar with the Old Testament. So, yes, I'm going to work on some Old Testament. So I want to begin over the next couple of months as well, laying the groundwork for some Old Testament work on the commentary. Now, here's the thing. I'm not planning on doing the Old Testament in the same degree of detail that I've done the New Testament. One, I'm not as much of a Hebrew scholar as I am a Greek scholar, so I don't know that would play the best of my strengths. But two, I also don't think that's quite as necessary. I think what is most helpful to the Old Testament is more kind of the 10,000-foot view. Let's give the lay of the land. Let's give a map for reading this book well. And so that's what I want to do for the Old Testament, is I want to provide the backstory type information. When was this written? Who wrote it? What's the world situation at the time period? What's the situation this particular Old Testament book is being spoken into? And then I want to go big chunk by big chunk. So rather than verse by verse, paragraph by paragraph, I want to go big chunk by big chunk, so that if you're, say, for example, you're thinking of Genesis, well, you have 1 through 3, and you have the creation and fall story, and then you have 6 through 11, and you have the effects of the fall on mankind, and then beginning in chapter 12, you get the Abraham story, and break that down into a couple chunks. And I want to go big chunk by big chunk, just to say, here's sort of the map of the book, and here's the way the book works. Here's some themes and some patterns to pay attention to. And then I also want to show, and here's how it prepares for and points towards Jesus. So sort of more of a reader's guide to Old Testament books that I think will be really valuable, really helpful, enabling people to read the Old Testament wisely and intentionally. So that's where I want to go long term. And that's going to take a lot of work. There's a lot to the Old Testament. I'll probably start with the Torah, the first 5 books of the Old Testament, and give some overview of the Torah and how it works together as a whole, and then provide the big breakdown book by book of each and provide a guide for that. And we'll just go from there. And so that's kind of what's on the horizon right now. And so just know that over the next couple months, there's not going to be regular weekly episodes on the commentary released. I'll probably give occasional updates, occasional little reminders of things going on, or if I get some good stuff done in the study hub, might let you know about that. So I'll release some occasional things, but all of it is getting the website up and operating properly, getting hopefully a Spanish version done, laying the groundwork for some Old Testament so that this resource can continue to grow and expand, reach more people, and be used in more places for the glory of God and the good of His people. That's the hope. That's the goal. So how can you help in that? Well, one, continue to utilize the commentary and share it. Share it on your platforms. Share it with your friends. Share it in emails, text messages. Share it in Bible studies. All of that helps more people learn about and discover the commentary. Two, there is a financial cost in all of this. Doing the Spanish version, for example, I'll have to have another podcast channel, so there's monthly hosting fees for that. I'll have to have some more hosting site for the website and have some web work done. The audio generation, probably several $1,000s in audio generation, and so there's some financial cost in all of that. And so if you want to join the team of donors and supporters to help this ministry grow, man, that would be deeply appreciated and welcomed. Again, you can do that just by going to listenerscommentary.com, clicking the Give button, and setting up a monthly donation right there. Sharing the commentary on your platforms and with your friends, donating if you're able to, and certainly praying for the Lord to bear good fruit through this commentary. The emails I have received over the last few years have been deeply encouraging to me, and it just seems like the Lord is using this. I would love more people to find it so that more people could benefit from it. So praying for the expansion of the commentary, praying for the Lord to bear more good fruit from the commentary, all of that would be most helpful. So thanks a ton for being a part of the Listener's Commentary family. Thanks to those of you who have generously supported this project, some of you from day one, and some of you very early on, some of you recently. Every single one of you has been a blessing, not only to me, but to the thousands of people who use this commentary on a regular basis. And so thanks a ton for your support. I just continue to pray for the Lord's favor and fruitfulness on this work, and I'm grateful to have those of you who regularly support and pray for this ministry as part of the team. So thanks a ton for that, and look forward to where things go over the next couple months, as well as once we begin releasing recordings on the Old Testament. God bless you. I look forward to sharing more Bible teaching with you soon. Take care.